It's time. You're about to receive a message that comes with a cost most people could never afford. And if you take this risk, you'll awaken a power no one can take from you. If you found this message on October 14th, understand this, it's not a coincidence. Something pulled you here, quietly, but deliberately. Today's energy doesn't speak loudly, it whispers, but those who are awake will hear it. These aren't random moments, they're signals, small invisible markers leading you exactly where you need to be before the next door opens. Not everyone will receive this message because not everyone is ready for it, but you are. That's why you're here right now at this exact moment. Today isn't just another day. It's the final inhale before something shifts. Everything may feel strangely quiet, but that silence, it's pressure building. The kind of pressure that only happens before a break in the energy. You might notice subtle tension in the air, a sense that something's aligning just out of sight. It's not chaos, it's correction. Nature always balances itself, and right now, it's doing the same with you. This is your moment of alignment. Right now, you're standing at a quiet intersection, one that looks ordinary, but isn't. Every decision you make today, no matter how small, is weaving into what's coming next. This is not the moment to rush, to force, or to chase what feels unstable. You might feel torn between options, unsure what direction to take, but that's because the energy is recalibrating around you. When the universe starts shifting pathways, confusion is the first sign that something bigger is aligning. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to stand still long enough to feel which direction brings peace. The wrong path always shouts. The right one feels quiet, but sure. So if you've been second-guessing yourself, wondering if you're missing a sign, you're not. You're just being guided to stop listening to the noise. The right path doesn't chase you. It waits for you to be still enough to notice it. Breathe. Observe. Let clarity reveal itself without forcing it. Because sometimes, the most powerful move you can make at a crossroads is not to move at all. There's something you need to know. Every act of kindness, every silent moment of forgiveness, every time you chose light when no one was around to see it, it was noticed. The universe keeps record in ways that human eyes never could. Nothing good you've done has gone unseen. Even the moments you doubted your worth, when you gave your best and received nothing back, were never wasted. Energy doesn't disappear. It builds, quietly, behind the scenes. The good you sent out when you thought it didn't matter is now circling back. This is not the universe punishing or rewarding, it's balancing. The scale always remembers. You've already planted more than you realize, and right now, the unseen is beginning to grow roots beneath your feet. So if you've been feeling forgotten or unseen, remember this. The universe saw you when you stayed kind in a cruel moment. It saw you when you kept believing without proof. And it's about to remind you why none of it was in vain. Lately, you might have felt distant from people, disconnected from places that once felt familiar, or even unsure why certain things in your life suddenly stopped working. It can feel like rejection, like the world is closing doors in your face. But the truth is, it's protection. The universe has a way of removing access before harm can reach you. Not every closed door is punishment. Some are barricades built out of mercy. Sometimes, silence is your shield. When connections fade, when plans fall through, or when people suddenly drift away, it's because your energy has become incompatible with chaos. You've been elevating quietly, even when you didn't notice it yourself. And while that new energy is still stabilizing, the universe can't risk interference. It hides you in plain sight. You're not being left out, you're being preserved. There are rooms you haven't entered yet because your light would have been dimmed there. There are conversations you never had because the energy wasn't pure enough to receive your words. Think about how many times you felt frustrated by delay, only to later realize what you were protected from. Right now, your frequency is being fortified. This is a time when the universe isolates its chosen ones, not to punish them, but to secure the environment where their energy can fully form. You might crave connection, but solitude is where your protection matures. You're in an unseen quarantine, not of sickness, but of sacredness. Rejection is divine redirection disguised as silence. If something or someone feels out of reach right now, it's because their vibration no longer matches yours. You're being held in a waiting space until everything around you rises to meet you. Everything that's shifting right now, every delay, every detour, every moment of uncertainty, it's all part of something precise. It might not look like alignment, but it is. The universe doesn't move in straight lines. It rearranges in spirals. What looks like loss today often circles back as the breakthrough you didn't see coming. Divine timing doesn't miss. It just waits until it's undeniable. You may feel like nothing is working, but behind the chaos, a pattern is being rewritten in your favor. Sometimes, things have to collapse so their pieces can be placed differently. What if the confusion you're feeling isn't proof that things are falling apart, but proof that things are being rebuilt stronger? There are moments when you'll look around and see nothing moving. That's when the rearrangement is at its loudest. The unseen world is shifting the variables, moving people, opportunities, and events into exact alignment. It's like a cosmic chessboard. And right now, you're not being ignored, you're being positioned. Every no, every silence, every unexpected pause is making space for the right yes to reach you. The reason it feels slow is because precision takes time. The universe doesn't rush architecture this delicate. It dismantles what doesn't belong, rearranges what's essential, and holds everything in balance until it fits perfectly around you. If your plans have been delayed, if communication feels foggy, if progress seems impossible, don't mistake it for failure. These are the final adjustments of divine order. The things that look broken are simply being rearranged for your protection and elevation. Sometimes, the universe will confuse you just long enough to prepare you for the clarity that's coming next. And when that clarity hits, you'll see why nothing else could have worked. There's someone right now thinking about you, not in jealousy, not in judgment, but in quiet admiration. You might not realize it, but your strength has been echoing in places you've never been. Every time you pushed through when things felt impossible, someone was watching. Every time you smiled through heaviness or refused to give up, you gave someone else permission to keep going. You became someone's proof that endurance works, even when it's invisible. People rarely tell you when you've changed them. Inspiration doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it hides behind silence, behind the person who suddenly starts doing better without ever mentioning your name. There's someone who saw your struggle and decided to fight their own because of it. They saw your persistence, your refusal to break, and it lit something in them. The truth is, light doesn't always realize how far it travels. You might think your efforts went unseen, that your quiet battles were fought in isolation, but they weren't. Your growth created a ripple, one that's still moving through other people's lives, even now. The way you handled your pain, your patience, your small victories, they became a silent blueprint for someone else's survival. Real influence doesn't seek an audience. It simply exists and transforms those who witness it. Every time you chose compassion over resentment or calm over chaos, you taught someone how to do the same. Maybe it's someone close, or maybe it's someone who only crossed paths with you once. It doesn't matter. You've left imprints in timelines you'll never see. And here's the secret. The universe notices what you inspire, even when you don't. That energy returns, multiplied, when you least expect it. One day soon, you'll meet someone who mirrors back the light you forgot you gave away. That's how the universe keeps balance, by sending you evidence of the difference you've already made. So if you've been feeling unseen or unappreciated, remember this. You are the quiet motivation behind someone else's awakening. They might never say it out loud, but your resilience became their roadmap. You've already been the sign they prayed for. There's a reason your mind feels restless today, as if random thoughts are trying to break through the noise. They aren't random. They're echoes, fragments of guidance being sent from the version of you that already knows where this path leads. Your future self is not waiting, it's whispering. You may catch yourself thinking about someone you haven't spoken to in months, feeling drawn to revisit an old place, or feeling the urge to make an unusual decision that defies logic. Don't dismiss it. These impulses are not coincidences, they're signals, gentle nudges from the version of you that's already standing on the other side of the 15th, calling you forward. Think of time not as a line, but as a loop. Every choice you make today vibrates backward and forward through your timeline, adjusting everything connected to it. That gut feeling that doesn't make sense, it's your future self handing you a clue. That hesitation before making a decision, it's a warning wrapped in intuition. You're in communication with yourself, just not through words. If you feel sudden clarity, act on it. If something tells you to wait, listen. The guidance coming through today carries precision, like code, meant to align you with a version of your life that's already complete. This is why today feels charged with unexplainable emotion or urgency. You're standing at the midpoint between who you were and who you're becoming. Intuition is the language your future self uses to get your attention. The more you trust it, the louder it becomes. You don't have to understand the full picture right now. You just have to follow the thread. Small actions, small choices, they're all adjustments aligning you to a reality that's already prepared for your arrival. So when something feels magnetically right today, follow it. When something feels wrong, but you can't explain why, step back. You're not being paranoid. You're being guided. Every thought, every impulse, every flicker of curiosity you feel on this day is a breadcrumb from your higher timeline. After tomorrow, things will start to make sense, and you'll realize this wasn't a coincidence. It was a conversation across time between who you were and who you're about to become. That uneasy feeling you've been trying to ignore, that quiet fear creeping at the edges of your thoughts, it isn't here to stop you. It's here to lead you. What you're afraid of right now might actually be the very thing your soul has been asking for. Fear isn't always the signal to run. Sometimes it's the invitation to rise. The universe has a strange way of packaging growth. It never wraps it in comfort. It hides it inside the moments that make your hands shake, inside the decisions that make your heart race, inside the conversations you've been avoiding. The truth is, if something feels uncomfortable but keeps calling to you, it's not danger, It's direction. Think about it. Every version of you that ever evolved was born inside fear. You were scared before every major leap, before every decision that changed everything. The universe doesn't test you by punishing you. It tests you by stretching you. What you're feeling right now, that resistance, that doubt, is the edge of your old self trying to convince you to stay where it's safe. But you didn't come this far to stay unchanged. You'll know you're standing in front of your breakthrough when your excuses start sounding reasonable. That's the voice of fear, pretending to be logic. It tells you to wait, to prepare more, to play small. But really, it's just trying to protect the version of you that doesn't exist anymore. Fear never disappears. It transforms into power the moment you walk through it. The universe hides your next chapter behind the one thing you swore you'd never do. It places blessings on the other side of discomfort, so only the brave will reach them. That's why right now you might feel torn. Half of you wants to leap, and the other half wants to disappear. That friction is sacred. It's a sign that something extraordinary is forming just beyond what feels unbearable. You might be scared of starting something new, of ending something that feels familiar, of being seen in a bigger way than before. But what if the thing you're avoiding is actually the proof that you're aligned with something bigger than you imagined? The universe doesn't hand out fear as punishment, it hands it out as prophecy. It's the compass pointing toward transformation. So when you feel fear rise, don't run. Observe it. Listen to what it's guarding. Because behind that trembling doorway is the version of you that no longer settles, no longer hides, no longer plays small to make others comfortable. That's who's waiting. Discomfort is the universe's way of showing you where your next miracle lives. The fear that's pulling at you is not an obstacle, it's an initiation. Step toward it anyway, even if your voice shakes, even if your knees tremble. You'll realize it wasn't the fear that was powerful, it was you. You've been working in silence for so long that it's easy to believe no one sees it. You've shown up when you were tired, believed when there was no reason to, and kept moving even when the results refused to show. It's exhausting, doing everything right and still wondering if it's even making a difference. But here's the truth. It is. Just because the seed is underground doesn't mean it isn't growing. Progress doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it looks like nothing is happening while everything is rearranging beneath the surface. Every late night you pushed through, every decision to stay disciplined when no one was watching, every time you chose faith instead of frustration, it all built momentum, quietly stacking energy in your favor. And now it's reaching a tipping point. The reason it's been so silent lately isn't because you've been forgotten. It's because the universe doesn't clap during construction. You've been in the building phase, and soon the structure you've been shaping will reveal itself. The things you've prayed for are circling closer, not because of luck, but because your consistency summoned them. You might feel like you're at the edge of giving up. You might even be questioning whether it's worth continuing. That's exactly where the shift begins. Most people quit right before the miracle, not knowing how close they are to the moment everything starts moving. This is the part of the story that tests your endurance, the stretch between effort and reward. And if you can hold steady a little longer, you'll see how close you've been this entire time. You're not behind. You're not late. You're in the exact space between what was and what's about to be revealed. Sometimes the universe withholds visibility to protect your progress because not everything grows well under the spotlight. What's been developing behind the curtain of your patience is about to step into full view. People will soon notice the changes that even you stopped believing were happening. Your energy will start to magnetize what matches your effort. The connections, opportunities, and results that were out of reach are about to start aligning naturally. And when it happens, it won't be slow, it'll unfold all at once like a floodgate finally opening. So don't slow down now, don't question the process. This is the final stretch, and your persistence is what's holding the door open for your breakthrough. Keep showing up, not because it's easy, but because the universe is already responding, even if you can't see it yet. The work you've done in silence is about to make noise. The energy you've invested, the faith you've kept alive, it's all about to return to you, multiplied. Hold your ground, because visibility is coming. Your effort is about to be seen, not just by others, but by the universe itself. There's a reason you were meant to hear all of this today. Every message, every reminder, every strange sense of urgency, it's pointing toward one thing: preparation. Not the kind that comes with fear or chaos, but the kind that comes with awareness. The energy of October 14th isn't random, it's a threshold. You're standing at the final step before the next phase begins, and how you move through it will determine how the rest unfolds. Before the 15th arrives, you must pause, really pause, and acknowledge what's been revealed to you. This isn't about rushing into massive changes or forcing transformation overnight. It's about recognizing the signs that have been circling you for weeks, the conversations that keep repeating, the emotions that keep resurfacing, the opportunities that won't stop showing up in your periphery. None of it is coincidence. They're signals you are meant to notice, and this is your last quiet moment to understand them before momentum takes over. Awareness is the ritual. Acceptance is the action. You don't have to fix everything today. You don't have to have all the answers, but you do need to make peace with what's surfacing. If something is leaving, let it. If something feels ready to begin, take the first step, even if it's small. And if all you can do is sit in reflection, then do that with intention. The point is to meet this moment with consciousness instead of distraction. The energy building right now is sensitive. It's like wet cement. Everything you think, feel, and choose before the 15th will leave an imprint that shapes what comes next. That's why the universe has been pushing you to slow down and notice. Every decision you make today echoes louder than usual. Every word you speak carries weight. The universe always asks for alignment before acceleration. If there's something you've been avoiding, a conversation, an apology, a truth, this is the time to face it with honesty. Clearing emotional or energetic clutter before the 15th will lighten what you carry into the next cycle. The universe isn't trying to overwhelm you. It's trying to empty your hands so you can finally receive what's been waiting. Maybe for you, this means forgiving someone who doesn't deserve it. Maybe it means forgiving yourself. Maybe it means writing down what you're ready to release and burning the paper as a signal to the universe that you're ready to move forward. Whatever it looks like, do something, however small, that symbolizes awareness and acceptance. Even stillness counts when it's done with purpose. Remember, this isn't about superstition or some cosmic deadline. It's about energy sinking itself into position. You've spent so much time surviving the unknown. Now, the unknown is making room for you. The only requirement is that you acknowledge where you are before stepping into where you're going. Don't drag the weight of confusion into the doorway of clarity. Today is your clearing day, your alignment day. Take a breath, review what's unfolding, and trust that if you can meet this day consciously, tomorrow will meet you halfway. Everything that was meant for you will begin to move closer once you've acknowledged what's already here. So before the 15th, take a moment to stand still, to honor how far you've come, to recognize what's leaving, and to open yourself to what's next. This is not the end. This is the quiet moment before the acceleration. One day soon, you'll be doing something completely ordinary, maybe driving, scrolling through your phone, or lying awake in the middle of the night. And this day, October 14th, will suddenly come rushing back to you. You won't expect it. It'll just hit you like a flash of understanding that wasn't available before. Something that felt small or meaningless today, a conversation, a sudden emotion, even a random thought that crossed your mind will finally click into place. And you'll realize that it was never random. It was the start of something. The present always hides future meaning in plain sight. Today might seem uneventful on the surface, but the energy around it is layered. Every moment you've lived through today has been a thread being quietly woven into something bigger. Maybe it was that song you couldn't stop hearing. Maybe it was the person who came to mind out of nowhere. Maybe it was the feeling that something was shifting even though nothing looked different. All of it was placement, divine choreography working in silence. The universe doesn't shout when it moves. It plants seeds in days like this, in conversations you almost ignore, in emotions that don't make sense until they do. What's happening today is the kind of alignment that hides in plain sight, the kind that doesn't reveal itself until you've already walked a few steps past it. And when it unfolds later, you'll look back and think, I should have known something was different about that day. You were drawn here for a reason. You heard these words because they're part of that alignment, not to tell you what's coming, but to prepare the part of you that will recognize it when it arrives. You don't need to search for signs anymore. You're living in one. Every thought you've had today has been a bridge between who you are and who you're becoming. And though you can't see it yet, the energy you set in motion right now is already shaping what's next. Life's most powerful shifts never announce themselves. They unfold quietly, and only in hindsight do we realize their weight. This is one of those moments, the kind you'll look back on weeks or months from now and understand that it wasn't just another day. October 14th wasn't a coincidence. It was a timestamp, a quiet marker between endings and beginnings. So pay attention to the smallest things tonight. The way you feel, the faces you see, the words that stick in your mind for no reason. Because later, when something new finally arrives, when the thing you've been waiting for begins to take form, it'll all trace back to this day. October 14th will return to your memory not as an ordinary date, but as the moment you were silently rerouted. And when that realization hits, you'll understand why you were led to this exact message at this exact time. Because this was never just a video, it was the signal before the shift. If you're still watching, I'd like to thank you for your attention. If you enjoyed the content and want to see more, please consider clicking the subscribe button. Your support is very appreciated. Feel free to share your experiences or thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, take care and subscribe for more insightful content.